It's 6 o'clock and we can call the meeting to order. This meeting is accessible to people with disabilities. Microphones or telephones will be used by all speakers. Large print materials are available upon advance request. If you would like either of these accommodations, please contact Mary Waldron at 508-583-1833, extension 202. The Notice of Non-Discrimination Rights and Protections to Beneficiaries with regard to the federal Title VI non-discrimination protections and the state non-discrimination protections is posted in this meeting room and is available on the Old Colony Planning Council website. Again, please contact Mary Waldron at 508-583-1833, extension 202 for more information. Thank you. And then with that, I think we're ready to do a roll call.
Before that, Madam President, so first of all, this is your first official council meeting as president. So thank you for your leadership, and we look forward, I certainly look forward along with the staff working with you to keep these meetings to be robust and on time. With that, I just wanted to mention that we had recently heard of the passing of a long-time OCPC staff member, Jim Watson.
Oh.
His picture is here. Jim had been here and working with the community planning side of the shop here, and his daughter had reached out recently to say that after approximately 25 years working for OCPC, so his services will be in November, but I just wanted to do just a short moment of silence in memory of Jim. Thank you, Madam President. Now I will go into the roll call. Abington.
Present.
That's Stephen Santusonio.
Correct.
Avon is Frank Staffier and John Costa, I believe. Thank you. Town of Bridgewater is absent. She's unable to attend. Brockton.
Alternate.
And then Sydney Marrow said she's unable to attend due to a conflict. Duxbury is George Wadsworth is unavailable. I don't believe that he's come on. East Bridgewater.
Present.
Present.
Great, thank you. That's Peter Spagone, delegate, and John Hayes, alternate. Thank you both. Easton. She's not on yet. Halifax, there was a vacancy on that. Town of Hanover.
Rhonda Nyman, present.
New member, Rhonda. Thank you, Rhonda. And alternate Stephen Luco may not be, I don't think he's available tonight, but welcome, Rhonda. The town of Hanson.
Present. During the Fridays delegate.
Great, thank you. And then I know Joe said he was going to try to attend. And then Kingston.
Present.
Thank you. Val Massard. Pembroke.
Alternate, Alicia Siciliano Perry.
Hi, Alicia. Thank you for being here. Town of Plymouth is, he is unable to attend. Christine Joy is unable to attend from the town of Plimpton. Stoughton is unable to attend. Mark Tisdale, is Craig on? I don't believe so. West Bridgewater.
Delegate.
Perfect. Thanks, Eldon. Town of Whitman.
Alternate, Dan Salvucci.
Delegate Marino too.
Happy birthday, Maureen.
Thank you.
And there is an at-large delegate that is still vacant, so we will be looking. So, Madam President, we have a quorum.
Good news. Well, thank you. And I'm sorry to hear about him. So I think the next step is we'd move on to the consent agenda that was sent out in packets.
Correct. And
Go ahead.
Madam President, on this one, all this information was sent out over the summertime, and so a vote required to approve. That is the minutes from the June 26th meeting, along with the financials from June and July.
Yeah. So does it have questions, or do we want to make a motion?
So moved. I'll second that.
I'll
Val-
call-
Question on that, Val?
No, I just thought we should, now that it's been moved, are there any questions on the? You want to take a vote then?
Yes. Stephen Santisonio,
Accept.
Frank Staffier. His hand is raised. Jean, Preston Huckabee,
Accept.
Peter Spigot,
Accept.
Jean Marie, Kent Joyce. I saw Jean Marie join us.
Here.
Thank you. Rhonda Nyman,
Accept.
Tony DeFrace,
Accept.
Val Massard,
Accept.
Alicia Siciliano Perry,
Accept.
Elder Marrera,
Accept.
Noreen O'Toole. That is unanimous.
Thank you. And the next item on the agenda is looking at the financials. And
Actually, we're going to go just before them, Madam President, we just because some staff have to leave us. This will take really quick, an opportunity for the council members. In fact, are we going to stop? How are we going to do this, Megan? So I thought it really important for all of you. There's been some new staff that have joined us. There's been some new council members that have joined us. And I've asked the staff to join us early part of this meeting. And I'm very proud of the work that they've been doing. We'll get into the staff report in a little bit. And recently we held an office retreat here at the office where we had an opportunity to explore the strength of each of us and how do we work well with each other and how we can work even further well with each other. So I'm going to just cover the administrative part of that. So besides myself, it's Brenda Robeson, who is on vacation in Savannah today. And then along with Brenda is Megan Fournier. So Megan, if you would like to there we go. Then what we'll do next is have Charlie introduce his team.
Sure. Well, I'll start off. I'm Charles Kilmer with the Old Colony Planning Council, Assistant Director and Transportation Program Managers. So we have a robust team here. Sean Bailey, Senior Transportation Planner.
Hello, everyone. To those who may not know me, my name is Sean Bailey. I'm a Senior Transportation Planner. I've been with Old Colony Planning Council for a little over 9 years now. Started as an intern about a week or two after I graduated from college. Been here all through grad school. I work primarily in transportation, assist Kyle with data collection activities. I also help out with the road safety audits, with pavement management, and I also administer the septic loan program, which we are the only regional planning agency in the state that has such a program. I assist CPED with green communities activities, applications, and reports, and it's been one heck of a ride.
Thank
So
you.
I would note that Sean grew up in the town of Stoughton, so he knows that community
Yes.
very well in the region, and we're very happy to have Sean on board.
Yes, and also I am one of the drone pilots in transportation as well.
Great, thank you, Sean. Next up, we have another Senior Transportation Planner, Kyle Mowat, who hails from the town of Easton, though he's moved out of Easton. And Kyle's also a drone pilot, so Kyle, you have the microphone.
Hello, everybody. Kyle Mowat, Senior Transportation Planner here at OCPC. So I do data collection, automatic traffic recorders and turning movement counts. I do bike and ped planning, assist CPED as well with green communities. Also, I'm also a drone pilot. So I put together the drone program, and that's underway, and that's been going pretty well so far. Oversee the MIPA. I'll be going over that in a little bit. All the new MIPA projects that come through. And yeah, I think I've been here for about 13 years. So it's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while, but something longer you've been involved in is the Pan Mass Challenge.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know if everybody knows what the Pan Mass Challenge is, but it started in 1987. It's a bike ride from the longest route is Sturbridge to P-Town. It's a 2-day event, and it raises money for Dana-Farber.
Kyle?
Great, thank you, Kyle. Next up, we have Principal Transportation Planner, Ko Chung Lee.
Hi, good evening. My name is Go Chang Lee. I am managing regional travel demand model, also co-leading in project development such as high priority corridor screening study. And we are working on the Route 18 corridor study, and Ray and I are co-leading in this project. I'm a certified professional transportation planner as well as road safety professional. I had about 8 years working experience with Department of Public Works back in Kansas, and I also had another 7 years experience with MPO at Serpent. I'm very, very proud to be with the team. As even I'm a newest member, I really feel the atmosphere here and very inspiring. I'm very happy to join the team. Thank you.
Great to know. I would note that Ko Chung is one of the panelists at the upcoming Moving Together conference to talk about a OCPC active transportation study. So. Next, we have heralding from New Hampshire is Ray Garino. He's a principal transportation planner.
Thank you, Charlie. Yep, Ray Garino. I've been with Old Colony Planning Council approximately 18 years. I've been involved in participating in the long range transportation plan, which we're going to do again every 4 years. Freight planning, corridor studies, road safety audits, bottleneck studies, bottleneck identification, which evolved into the high priority corridor study with Ko Chung, and also congestion management before Sean took that over. Thank you.
Thank you, Ray.
Yep.
And next up, we have William McNulty, a principal transportation planner who currently resides in Abington, but previous to Abington, he lived in the town of Marshfield.
Thank you, excuse me. Thank you, Charlie. Good evening, everyone. So as Charlie mentioned, I'm an Abington resident. My wife and I moved here 9 years ago. I've been working for Old Colony Planning Council for 22 years now. I am a board certified professional transportation planner. My primary duties here, I manage long range planning. So every 4 years, oversee the update of our long range transportation plan, which we're undertaking now. That's a 25-year plan. So we're looking out towards year 2050 at this point. So that's going to be a big undertaking this year. I also recently took over from Charlie the managing that transportation improvement program. Charlie mentioned I grew up in Marshfield. After transferring from St. Michael's College, I finished out my undergraduate degree at Bridgewater State University. So I'm, the Old Colony region and specifically like Plymouth County is home to me. So I take a lot of pride in working here, and I really enjoy my job here, which is probably obvious from staying here for 22 years. Thanks everyone.
Okay, thank you, Bill. And next we have Andrew Vidal, who's our GIS manager and who has actually an exciting trip planned for this weekend. As an avid Patriots fan, he's planning to travel to Wisconsin for the game on Sunday.
Andrew, are you on? I don't see him. If he does come on by the.
We'll come up with a stump speech we can make.
We're all going to go with him to
That's right. He tries to make a trip every year to an away game. So San Diego, right. Yep. He's done Green Bay, and the crowds, he said the Buffalo was the toughest crowds.
Yeah. Thanks, Charlie. We're going to keep moving on so the transportation department, as many of you know, they're a tight group and they get a lot done in a short period of time. Next, I'm going to go to the manager, Laurie Muncy, who is the Director of Community Planning and Economic Development. Laurie.
Hey, Laurie.
Hi, I'm Laurie Muncy. I've worked at OCPC now for 5 years. In the CFED department, we focus a lot on housing production plans, open space plans, hazard mitigation planning, that kind of work. I work closely with two great women, Joanne Zigmund and Dottie Fuginetti. Unfortunately, Dottie is on vacation this week, so she can't be with us. She's in Mexico enjoying, I hope, some great weather. But Joanne is here. She is the senior planner for economic development and environmental. There she is.
Hi, folks. I'm Joanne Zigmund. Work with Lori and Dottie on economic development and a whole range of community planning projects. Born and raised in the city of Brockton, but recently have moved to Easton. And I'm trying to get used to the very dark nights and the very loud crickets. I work on a variety of projects at the moment, a lot of green community support for our communities on their grant applications, as well as their final project reports. I'm currently working with the town of Duxbury on an age-friendly action plan, with the town of Easton on their affordable housing trust work. And I also manage the Comprehensive Economic Development Strategy Committee, which some of you I know are members of. You can find more information about that on our website or reach out to learn more, but we manage the regional strategy as the economic development district for our region. And the committee is one way through which we help distribute news and information about economic development, but also ensure that stakeholders in the region have a say in what goes into the regional policy and planning process. Thank you.
And there's a lot that goes behind all of that, between what Joanne has said, what Lori has said, and what things that Dottie is working on. I would probably say the comprehensive and economic development department is the most complex in the sense that it has lots of different resources coming in. So not that transportation isn't complex at all, but it's a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and it has different funding at different levels of the year. So the team works well together, and really appreciate you guys all being on tonight. Next is going to be, actually, let me just go back to the Dottie who's away, and I think that more you mentioned it, but Dottie is the chair of the select board in the town of Easton. So her expertise in terms of being a municipal official has certainly brought lots of wealth of information to OCPC. So I'm going to now turn this over to David Klein, who's going to introduce his staff. And that is a drone shot behind you, right, David?
That's right. I'm sharing a drone shot from Kyle or Sean or Andrew. So I'm showing off of our expertise here. Not my expertise, their expertise. Hi, everyone. I'm the administrator of the Area Agency on Aging here at Old Colony Planning Council. And I've had about a 10.5-year affiliation with OCPC, 8 years as a delegate for the town of Abington, and the last 2.5 years as a staff member, coinciding with COVID here in the office or working at home. We're very proud of our department. We represent the federal spending, grant spending for our region, which covers the 17 OCPC communities and 6 additional communities, Marshfield, Rockland, Lakeville, I knew I'd forget. Middleborough, thank you. And Carver, and one more. Think about it in a second. In any case, we have several programs that we administer. One is very, very important. One is the Ombudsman program. And so several of our Ombudsman staff members are here today that we'll be introducing you to. Our director, Lila, 2 recent additions. 2 other Ombudsman staff members are not here, Jane Selig and Richard Henry. They're both part-time and wonderful members of our staff. And before we move on to Lila, I want to introduce Sean Noel, who's become an invaluable staff member over the past year. He's a hybrid staff member. He represents both the AAA and the fiscal department here at OCPC. Take it away, Sean.
Hi, everybody. I will keep this brief. As David mentioned, I assist him with AAA activities, particularly beginning to manage our volunteer driver program in several communities where we support drivers who volunteer, helping elders get to things like medical appointments and shopping and things like that. What we do is we reimburse those folks. So we try to make sure that they're taken care of. The other aspect of my job, I work in the fiscal office. I'm responsible for payroll, accounts payable, most of those types of activities. Brenda does all the heavy lifting. I just kind of do the grunt work, but it does make me popular because I'm the one that makes sure that everybody gets paid. So, but other than that, and in 2 weeks, I will have been here for a full year, and that doesn't even seem possible. But anyway.
Wow, that's great, Sean. Just so we can keep speeding this up, I know that you have some folks.
Let's go to Lila, Mary.
Yep, go ahead. And Lila, why don't you introduce Leah and Len?
Hi, everybody. Delighted to be here. And I did see that Richard Henry was on. Are you still on, Richard? No. So Richard Henry works 4.5 hours for the long-term care ombudsman program, and Jane Seelig works 13 hours, and I work the full-time. We cover 29 skilled nursing facilities, rest homes, and 1 TCU. We have about 3,000 residents that we try to make sure are getting their needs met. And about a year ago, a little over a year, Old Colony Planning Council was asked to be a host site for the assisted living ombudsman program for their expansion. And as many of you know, Gabrielle Sylvain Jean is our director, but she has been out on maternity leave. So Old Colony Planning Council and EOHHS decided to kind of backfill so the residents in the ALRs, assisted living residents, wouldn't have a gap in coverage or services. And we are very pleased to announce that Len Long, who is covering the Cape. Hi, Len. And Leah Lopes, who is covering off Cape. And they're both have joined us here tonight. And we just welcome them. They started 3 weeks ago, maybe, September 6th, the day after Labor Day, I believe. But anyways, we're just delighted to have them fill Gabrielle's position until she returns in January.
Len or Leah, do either one of you want to say anything quickly?
No.
That's okay. Thank you both for being on and
okay, Leah. Okay. And I just wanted to say that.
No, I was just saying hi, everyone.
Okay. Thanks, Leah.
And I just wanted to say that I continue to chase Charlie Kilmer because I started a year after he did, and I don't think I'm ever going to catch him. So I've been with the program for 24 years.
Thank you, Lila. Thank you, David. Thank you, Leah. Thank you, Len. Please extend thanks to Richard Henry as well, Lila, and to Jane for being part of it. I know this was a long going in terms of getting to everybody, but I thought it was really important for you as a council members because you do not have that interaction other than these gentlemen who came in today, but to have that interaction with staff. And it's a great team. It really is. And we have some ups and downs like every family, but we continue to grow. And I feel very strong as we came out of the last retreat that we had with the staff that we're even going to be even stronger. So I'm just going to leave us there. I know it was a long way to get through everybody, but we are a total of 21 staff members, some part-time. So that's who we are. And thank you for letting us run through that. And thank you to the staff for coming on tonight. So,
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Madam President, we're back to the regular agenda, to the financials, I believe.
Well, I really appreciated the sidebar, and it's great to see everyone. So, well done. It's welcome, everyone. So, with that, off to, is it Becky that will go over the agendas? I mean, the,
Well, I think Sean will talk us
Sean.
through.
That's
Okay.
correct.
I could just introduce the fact that we are going to have, we're asking for a consent agenda for June and July. If that hasn't already been discussed, I apologize for getting on late here at Town Hall in Pembroke. But that tonight what we're going to be reviewing are the latest financials, the August financials. And Sean Noel is going to go through them because
Got the cheat sheet.
Brenda's on vacation, right?
Oh.
On vacation?
Yes,
Yeah,
and
she
she has
is.
left me in possession of the beloved cheat sheet. So,
okay.
so we're
Can
gonna work our
everybody-
way through this.
Can everybody see the screen okay? Great,
Yeah.
perfect. Sean, go right ahead.
Okay, so starting with the statement of expenditures report, this shows total expenses for the month of $181,140.93. Moving down to the cash position report, shows income for the month of $244,498.69. Disbursements for the month were $211,338.17. Total cash available at the end of the month was $993,898.58. Moving down to the OPEB account. I think actually, no, maybe up.
Down.
That should be right there. Yep.
Yep. Okay. So the OPEB account, unfortunately, just as it is an investment account and is showing similar results to what everybody is saying, had a loss of $22,463.15, bringing the ending balance of the OPEB account to $887,055.36. Scrolling down to the budget resources, total receipts for the month being $244,498.69. Brings those total receipts in August to $356,019.13. AAA report. Okay. Total outstanding balance recorded on admin and ombudsman funds for fiscal year 22 AAA programs at the end of August, $262,307.50. Total outstanding balance recorded for pass-through funds for AAA programs for fiscal year 22 at the end of August were $1,640,752.05, bringing the total outstanding balance recorded in August to $1,903,059.55. Just to clarify for everybody, as Becky had asked this at the finance meeting, these are outstanding accounts receivable from the state. So those, the last amount is the total amount that is due for both pass-through as well as administrative and ombudsman funds. Voluntary transportation account down on the bottom. Account August beginning balance was $178,747.41. Restricted fund payments to the volunteers account in August were $922.78. Donations received into the fund were a total of $544.75, bringing the August ending balance in the fund to $178,379.38. Moving down to ROM, statement and activity. Balance at the beginning of the month was $179,340.73. August receipts were $5,850. Bringing total receipts in fiscal year 23 to $11,700. August expenses were $4,643.88. Bringing total expenses for fiscal 23 so far to $14,679.97. This brings the ending statement balance to $175,087.25. Budget spend down report. Through the end of August fiscal 23, page 1, total expenditures end of August were $315,935. Spend to date percentage at the end of August was 13.46%. ideal percentage in the second month of the fiscal year being 16.67%, shows we have a 3.2%, 3.21% surplus, or we're beating budget by 3.21%. Page 2 and page 3, there are no changes in the budgeted income or pass-through income at this point. The next one should be, these are a list of just combined expenditures for the month of August. And certainly any of those, if there is any question about a review of any of these expenses, please feel free to contact the fiscal office and we can certainly provide supporting documentation. Any questions at this point?
I think that's it.
What
was that?
I was just saying, Val, are you gonna seek a motion to approve?
Yes, I'm seeking a motion.
So moved.
I'll second that.
And can we take a vote?
Yes, roll call. Stephen Centosonio,
Accept.
Frank Staffier, raise his hand. Preston Huckabee,
Accept.
Peter Spagone,
Accept.
Jean Marie Kent Joyce,
Accept.
Rhonda Nyman,
Accept.
Tony DeFrias,
Accept.
Val Massard,
Accept.
Becky Coletta,
Accept.
Eldon Marrera,
Accept.
and Noreen O'Toole.
Accept.
That's unanimous.
Thanks, everybody.
Val, are we gonna, or Mary, I'm not sure which, are we gonna briefly talk about looking for auditors tonight?
Yes.
Or is that gonna be on the next agenda?
No, we actually can just briefly under the finance, this is under other business that was talked about the finance committee, if you would like to, Becky, or I can cover it because I have the finance agenda in front of me, but.
Maybe you cover it. It just, I think it would be helpful to get people's, not so much to go into detail about the proposal at this stage, because we may not have a final, but to let people know that if they know of auditors in the region who might be interested in doing our auditing work, that they should let Brenda or Sean know to put them on the list of people who would get the RFP.
Correct. So we are in our third of 3 years with the auditors. We had beforehand, we had been constantly using the same, but we created an RFP that we solicited for auditors, and we formed a committee. So if anybody is interested in serving on the selection committee for the auditor, it will be going through the finance committee, but we will, I believe that Brenda may have sent it out, but if she hasn't, we will send it out with the minutes of this meeting for the RFP. And if there's anybody that has a suggestion for an auditor, we would love to entertain that. So that's the one piece about the auditor. We're currently going through our audit right now. So there's a lot of, when Brenda comes back from vacation, she's going to be pretty busy, but dealing with the things. But at this point, we don't foresee any concerns with our audit. And just while I had everybody, just in terms of the finance committee meetings are recorded, and we'll share the recording out. But we also got into the discussion about creating fiscal policies. That was started under Christine Joy, and Brenda started to cultivate some bullet points. We'll be taking up fiscal policies so that we become a much more vibrant in terms of the policies. So we just don't haphazardly just take items on, that we will be having policies. And the rest will be covered under other items of the council agenda.
Can I make one more plug, Val? And that is that the finance committee certainly could use, if someone is interested in understanding the financials and the grants that flow through this organization in a little more detail, please sign up for the finance committee. We could definitely use one more member.
They are a lot of fun, Becky.
Well,
And that
thank
is it. That is
Yeah.
it for the finance. Oh, there's a couple people that raised their hands, Val.
I can't see, so
Let's see. I can't see either. Frank Staffier, you have your hand raised? Oh, you can't. I think it,
Maybe left from the vote.
He
But
hasn't
that-
been able to use his audio. So.
Okay, all right. If we will add Frank, we'll make sure Frank is added to the finance committee. I believe he's already on the finance committee, executive committee. So if there are any other items, but I think those are all the hands raised, Madam President.
Okay. Terrific. And we have not through the volunteer transportation restricted funds yet, or have we?
I haven't got to that yet. I thought we were not going to bring that up at the council meeting. We're going to still deal with under finance committee, but
That's fine. I see it. Yeah. Should we go into the staff reports then?
actually, Charlie has his hand up.
Yeah, thank you, Mary. I just wanted to discreetly and politely, between agenda items, introduce Andrew Vidal, our GIS manager.
Oh.
Who's joined the call. He joined a little bit late, but we certainly wouldn't want to miss Andrew just introducing himself and telling us a little bit about what he does for Old Colony Planning Council.
Thank you, Charlie. I'm Andrew Vidal, the GIS manager here at OCPC, and currently I manage the website and I create the maps and a lot of the visual data products and a lot of the data analysis behind the maps and a lot of the reports that we do.
Great, thank you, Andrew. And one of the things you work very closely on is with the geography department at BSU and their pilgrimage to OCPC for geography of Brockton class.
Yes. For the last 2 or 3 years, we've had college students from BSU come on over to OCPC. We explain a little bit about what we do. We sort of walk them through a case study of GIS from project conception, data analysis, and conclusions.
Great, thank you, Andrew.
Thank you.
No, we do have a young family-oriented staff, so hear voices in the background, that's children, and I think that's, Andrew has a son and a daughter, I'm sure it's one of them, right, Andrew?
Yeah, it's both of them. I got away when I could. Thanks for being patient with me.
Andrew.
Thanks, Andrew. Great seeing you. Have a good night.
So in terms of the staff report, because I spent so much time having introductions, valuable time having the introductions to the staff, I'm just really going to do some highlights, as I mentioned earlier on, in terms of the overall administration. We had a day-long retreat where we had a chance. It's been a long time. You know, we're still in a hybrid and we're going to remain in a hybrid format. So transportation comes in on Tuesday, Thursday, and AAA comes in on Mondays and Fridays, and sometimes on a Wednesday. And then the CPED department comes in on Wednesdays, Thursdays. So then on the Thursdays, transportation and CPED can have good conversations with each other, but we're never here all together. And that decision really is, I think, a solid health-wise, where the productivity of the staff, we all have cell phones. That's where you saw the new phone list that we put out. We have laptops for everybody. We have Office 365 and SharePoint and it's just been incredibly productive. So everybody has shown, whether you're working from home or working here in the office, it is we're working with all full pistons. So I just wanted to say thank you to the staff on that. And then the other thing that we did, there was when I was at Bridgewater State University, there was a format called Strength Quest, and it's a personality test. But if you hear the term, it's strengths, and we're focusing on our staff's strengths. So what we did, we had all the staff participate in that. We were able to have continual dialogue, and I think if the members of the staff that are still on who have found it to be useful, just raise your hand, because I know I certainly have. It's just not a one-time thing. It is a continual development. And so while I may not be detailed oriented, but Megan is, and so that's why we make a great team in terms of getting these meetings. And same thing with Charlie. He is so detail oriented and has such a great history that we go to where people's strengths are, and then we work on where those gaps may be and find the other OCPC staff person. So I'm not going to get into great details about that. I do highly recommend, if you have not done so, please take the time and go through the staff report. Transportation Department has so many things going on. They're highlighted.
yeah.
Again, if you can just skim down, between the JTC and the MPO, but as the road safety audits and being on different conferences, Charlie participated with the South Shore Chamber, and they released a report on the transportation in the region. Incredible report. And Charlie, we probably should just make we probably should share that in our newsletter, is actually what we should do. But all these items where things are coming from, it becomes items for our newsletter. So if you're not receiving our newsletter, we're going to get you on it, and we'll make sure that you're on it. But even if skimming down to the community planning and economic development, that there are there were some notices in terms for the town of Avon receiving some grant funding for the rehab of DeMarco Park. That was based upon the open space plan that OCPC, along with district local technical assistance program. So Megan, can you just scroll up a little bit? But even our when we worked with the town of Avon, did we miss the rest of the trip? We missed the rest of the, there we go. Again, it's a learning experience. So again, when it was working with the town of Avon, but it was going to the weekly concerts they were having and identifying social media and outreach. And what was learned from the Community Planning and Economic Development Office is going to be used with the Transportation Department. So if you have contacts, social media, influencers in your community that you really want to make sure that we're sharing information with, then you please make sure that we are connected with you. And for those who are often on the active program on the documents, we make sure that the delegates and alternates are on those communications. So you are aware of the work that we're doing. So when there is a staff report, it's not, it's not totally new to you. Again, there's additional work that the CPED department's doing on economic development, as well as with open space plans and housing production plans. The MBTA communities is a hot spot and a hot topic for lots of communities. I know, Dan, that's probably an understatement.
Yeah.
And again, there's discussions that are being held, and we continue to work with not only the state, but we're working with the communities to figure out what is needed. There is a growing housing crisis within the Commonwealth, and having affordable workforce housing, but at what constraints? So there's, again, lots of discussions to be had on that. And then lastly, there's the Area Agency on Aging, and David has a number of things that are there. You were introduced to Len and to Leah, along with Richard today, the new staff. Further up, we had Gabrielle, who had her baby boy. So we send congratulations, and the Ombudsman program in terms of the update that Lila has. So we can just move a little bit further up on this. Megan, thank you. And then obviously the GIS, we've been working with Andrew very hard on really expanding the services, how they interact with the drone, which they do. And then, as he mentioned, the GIS day, which is November 16th, but also looking at software that could be helpful for utilizing, utilizing the GIS system. So we're able to. Sean, you have a question?
Mary, I just wanted to remind you, as you were going through the AAA stuff, did you want to mention the driver?
Well, I won't
volunteer driver.
You know what? I won't do it at this point because I want to be able to do a special one. But
okay, sorry.
Okay, so one of the things that I always do with so I see all the checks that go through, and before they do get signed and before they get signed off by the signatures on the checks. So at one point I'm seeing like a number of like $500 something to one particular vendor or to one particular person. And so I was told that this person is a miracle worker. We're going to do a special citation for him and do it at a meeting, and also highlight within the newsletter. So we're going to make sure Eldon is doing okay here. Take a sip of your water there. Right, yeah. Well, you may be all right, but we're not here.
I know, I'm like, I'm a little bloody.
Thanks, Eldon. But thank you, Sean, for mentioning that. We will, there's incredible people behind the scenes, not just only staff, but the volunteer programs for the AAA and elsewhere. And then lastly is the septic management program that Sean Bailey runs for the organization. Incredible, again, work. This is a more of a public service. It's not a lot of money that comes into the organization, but it is it's a popular program. So I'm going to cut that short. If there's any questions, please, you know how to reach out to me, and we can talk more about that. So thank you.
That's great. Thank you for that. And I apologize, Madam. I've realized that I have an older version of the agenda, which is why there's been a little bit of confusion. So
That was not your issue. I think that was ours. I meant to send you the updated one today, Val. So sorry.
So are we on to environmental notices then?
Kyle?
Yes, I am here. Thank you, Valerie.
Hey, thanks.
I'll run through this pretty quickly. So we have 4 new projects. First is the Easton Warehouse facility, and this is at on 138, currently where the mini golf facility is and driving range. So this is a proposed approximately 101,000 square foot warehouse building. There's going to be 7 tractor trailer truck storage and 7 loading docks. The next project is the Owl Ridge Estates in Easton. It's a 6 single family lot residential subdivision, and that's proposed on a 3.6 acre lot. Next is the Kingston Comprehensive Wastewater Management Plan. I don't have a description for that yet. Waiting on the report to come in. And then the Owl Ridge Estates for Easton. So this is the environmental impact report that had to be done for that project. Next, certificates. We have 4 certificates. First one in Bridgewater, the Lakeshore Center Phase 4. This project is going to require an environmental impact report. The town of Plimpton Upland Road Solar Facility. This does not require an EIR. The Easton Warehouse Facility, that does not require an EIR. And finally, the Owl Ridge Estates, like I mentioned before, that does require an EIR, and that just came through. Then next up, public notices, notice of application for Chapter 91 waterways permit in Duxbury. And this is in regards to the town of Duxbury performing beach and dune nourishment along the shoreline off Bay Ave, Gurnett Road, and Ocean Road. And then finally, notice of public hearing for vegetation management plan. And that includes multiple communities in our region. And that'll be held on November 2nd from 11 to 11:30 a.m. And I attached the meeting ID and passcode. Thank you.
Thanks, Kyle. Thank you, Kyle. So as Kyle had mentioned, the monitor comes to us, to Charlie, myself, and Kyle twice a month. And if any of those items are of interest to you and you would like us to weigh in, please let us know, because we would draft a comment on behalf of the community. So we'll continue to share those. And again, if you have any questions on those, you can ask any of the staff members. So thanks, Kyle.
You're welcome.
Great, thank you. So that covered environmental notices. Do we have retirement?
I'm going to give a quick update on a couple of things. I'm going to take number 7, the retirement legislation is status quo. This is for the new members, is that I may have to take a time to explain this in a much more detail, but there is the regional planning agencies have been receiving invoices from the State Retirement Board prior to me coming on board. And those invoices basically have been going into all of the regional planning agencies. It's been taking those invoices and kind of shelving them. And we have monthly meetings with the regional planning agency directors. And then we hired a person to work with the legislature to make sure that we're not getting billed, because if we're continuing to have to pay those invoices, it would put us all out of business. So there's continual dialogue, and this remains on the agenda until we have some resolution. So the regional planning agencies filed legislation, the state retirement board filed legislation. Both of them do different things. We both seem to understand what everybody's doing, but we just don't have a magic number yet. So that's the status. We'll remain on this agenda until we get some resolution. The other item that I'm going to just touch upon is the OPEB declaration of trust, just because it's going to be a quick update. At the Finance Committee, we talked about this a little bit more detailed, but in June, the council voted unanimously to approve the language for the OPEB trust. We are now gathering the next steps, and that means there's an election process. We aren't ready for this meeting, but my hope is that we'll be ready for the October meeting. So we're going to continue. So that's the update on number 7 and then number 11. And then the website, I'm actually just going to go quickly. You all received the email. Thank you, Megan, for showing up. So Megan, who is showing this, is a miracle worker who's worked along with Andrew Vidal, who'd been working with our previous website. And then I also want to give acclamation to Joanne Zigman, because she had started some of the initial work along with Maddie Curtis. This is if you haven't perused it yet, please do. It's great. It's much more navigable. I've had so many people compliment about where we've taken. It's fresh, it's new. Please take a look at it. And if you see anything that you feel, the more eyes, we've looked at it probably about 1,000 times. So I'm sure there might be some things, little nuances, but please let us know, but take a look and explore. So just kudos to Megan, Maddie, Andrew, and Joanne. So next is, so there are 2 proclamations, Madam President. So Sandra Wright from the town of Bridgewater has, over the past 3 years anyway, has presented this proclamation. And it's, she obviously, this is something near and dear to her heart, and she asked that we put this through. So we're at the end of September, but this is a proclamation that OCPC has done in the past. It was part of your package, and it's recognizing suicide as a national, state, regional, and local public health problem, and declares suicide prevention to be an Old Colony Planning Council priority. This will require a vote, Madam President, and a roll call.
I'll accept the motion.
So moved.
Second,
Great. Okay. Roll call, please.
Stephen Santusonio,
Accept.
Frank Staffier, Preston Huckabee,
Accept.
Peter Spagone,
Accept.
Jean Marie Kent Joyce,
Accept.
Rhonda Nyman,
Accept.
Tony DeFrayis, Val Massard,
Accept.
Becky Coletta,
accept.
Elder Marrera,
Accept.
Noreen O'Toole. That is unanimous. There is a follow-up proclamation, prevention proclamation. And this has more, this came from the AAA department, from David and Lila, the National Falls Prevention Month. As many of you know, there's so many things that go on in a month, and sometimes it's a week and sometimes it's a day, but because our organization does deal with our elder population, thought it was important. And what David will do once this is voted on, he'll share this with all the Council on Aging members and associate members. So again, it is to recognize National Falls Prevention Month as a regional and local public health, I want to say problem, probably needs to use another word than problem, but anyway, it's just recognizing that we need to pay attention. Yes, correct. But it's recognizing the fact that Old Colony Planning Council considers the prevention as a high priority. So a motion and a vote would be required.
Yes, could I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, roll call vote, please.
Yes, Stephen Santusonio,
Accept.
Frank Staffier, Preston Huckabee,
Accept.
Peter Spagone,
Accept.
Jean Marie Kent Joyce,
Accept.
Rhonda Nyman,
Accept.
Tony DeFrias, Valerie Massard,
Accept.
Becky Coletta,
Accept.
I won't call Ellen because I'm sure he's here, and Noreen O'Toole. Great, that's unanimous. That was unanimous, Madam President.
Oh, it looks like we have. Is there anything else? The summit venue?
Yeah, let me, so last year that we had an expo, the idea came by way of. Hang on. Sorry. We have, last year, Christine Joy came up with the idea of having an expo. We called it expo for that reason, but we're gonna rename it the summit, and it really is just convening delegates along with stakeholders. That means planning boards and DPW folks to interact. And I know a number of you participated and were able to have great conversations with fellow communities. So Megan, we're looking at December 8th, is that right? And just wanted to get a sense from council members to see if that December 8th would work. Megan, can you take it from here for a minute? Thank you.
So I guess maybe for ease, if we can have a show of hands, if you think that.
Could you take down, could you stop sharing your screen so that way we can see who's voting? Thank you.
So if we can just have a show of hands. Sorry, I'm just gonna make this a little bit easier for my own gallery, if that works.
For everybody's purposes, December 8th is a what?
A Thursday.
December 3rd is December 8th is a Thursday, correct?
Yes, yeah. So I guess at this point, does it not work for anyone?
What time? What are we
Most
talking about?
likely like what did we do last time?
5:45, 5:30, 5:45.
That's in-house or Zoom you're talking about?
In person, and most likely we're looking for a central location for all. So it's so last had it
at Meadowbrook in
Yeah, that's a good place. We had it last year then. Yeah.
So before we get in, just can I see another show of hands who is able to attend?
I'll be there.
It looks like a majority of folks. Terrific. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. So we will, I just need, it was much easier. I was trying to do it by email, but since we're meeting, so we're going to go forward with December 8th, Thursday. It will kind of be a little bit of the holiday spirit. We'll have dinner and we'll have just a really easy working kind of environment. So it's not heavy lifting. But again, it's to give an opportunity for the delegates to get to know each other and again, the staff. So that is all that I believe that I have on the agenda. Is that right, Megan?
Just additional items. John has his hand raised.
Yeah.
Go ahead, John.
No.
Was there an OPEB update? I know it looks like.
Mary just she did that with when she talked about the
That's right.
legislation. Yeah.
Okay.
I talked fast, Valerie, sorry.
No, I'm sorry, I missed that. So I think if there's nothing else, I think it's time to check on an adjournment.
Yeah, John Costa had his hand up. John, did you?
Can't hear you, John.
I can't hear you.
Mary,
John,
John seems to have two profiles. If you look down, there's a.
Oh yeah, hold on, John. Let
So
me
try and unmute that John Des Costa.
Hold on. You should get a notice to unmute John.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's saying it.
Yeah.
John, yeah, we can't hear you at all, but you know what? If you have an item that
Send email.
send an email. Thank you.
We got that.
Fills up. But Madam President, usually at the end of the meetings, we do ask council members if they have items for future council meetings. So then that we're able to prepare and have it on the agenda for discussion.
Oh, I apologize. So Does anyone have any suggestions or comments that they want to include for the next meeting?
I just have a question for Mary. Mary, will you be reaching out to Frank and I for, to set up that?
I am.
Okay, I just
and,
wanted to be sure. I didn't know if it was you or I who needed to do that. Okay.
It's on my agenda to do. I wanted to get past today, but thank you. So
Okay.
for the council members, Stephen Santasonio as the chair of the Personnel Committee, along with Frank Staffier, they've had some discussions in terms of how to have some consistency as we put together budgets as it relates to staff salaries, having them be based upon merit. So, so that discussion will be between Frank and Stephen, myself, and Charlie. We'll bring it to the Finance Committee for further discussion. And then it will come eventually to the council meeting.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Oh, he's on. All right.
We fixed it.
Thought we could get out of here by 7.
May I have just a second of your time, and if you can hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Mary, on behalf of myself, every ambulance driver, EMT, and patient they carried across Reservoir Street in Brockton, I've seen the work it's in process, and from the deepest part of my heart, I want to thank you, because that was a mess. And OCPC, I know, played a huge role in about a 4 or 5 year project to get that road taken care of. I want to thank OCPC for their help.
Oh, nice.
Thank you, John, in the town of Avon. The town of Avon could not have 2 better delegates and alternates to continue. Relentless is probably a good word that went along with it, but for all good reasons, John. And I was glad that the mayor and the DPW and others were able to, but it also took the team of Charlie and the transportation team. So thank you very much, John. I'm going to get Eldon home soon. I think to get some hot toddy, maybe, I think is what I need to get Eldon. But I do not have any other items, Madam President.
With that, I would make a call for an adjournment.
I second that.
Do we need to take a roll call? Or
No,
can we?
you can just do all in favor.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yeah.
Good night, everybody. Thank
Aye.
you.